Hey everybody, I am Erica Carlson. I'm with Bricks Real Estate and thank you for joining me today. I'm going over Wright County market update. Whether you are a home shopper or you are a homeowner, you don't have to necessarily think about selling a house to maybe find this information interesting, just to keep you aware of what's going on in the real estate market. I appreciate that you're here and let's get started. So every week I share active pending closed data just so we can get a sense of how the inventory is doing. If we're being very simplistic, we're still at a very low inventory issue in the United States as a general statement. However, let's get a little bit more local, and we have 504 properties for sale with no contingencies as of this morning. And pendings did not change at all week over week, and closings just went down a little. So we're just kind of that slow decline. Absolutely no surprise. It's October 18th. We just know historically it slows down in the fall going into the winter. There's just no surprises there whatsoever. Interest rates are compounding people's like holding back, making houses less affordable for them. That's sort of an obvious statement, but it's a painful one. It's definitely impacting things for people that are out there trying to make a move right now. Every week I tell you, this is my favorite data. We're looking at 250 to 500K, and we want to know exactly who's out there shopping. And there really isn't any other way to do this other than to monitor how many showings are happening on properties. So I pull the data for that price point, just because it's kind of the average price point. And comparing this week over week gives us an idea of how many people are out there shopping, or in this case, not shopping, which makes it a great time to be a home buyer because your competition is very minimal. And, if we our non-existent crystal ball, we know it's going to pick up in spring. I mean, that's what always happens. People come out of the woodwork after the holidays thinking about making that move. Maybe their house is ready to list, whatever their situation is. So as you look at the numbers with me, let me break it down into regular human speak. 1.85 showings per week per listing was what was average. Of course, there's always exceptions to the rule. But that means for homeowners that have houses on the market, that means only 1 to 2 showings per week is happening out there right now. Of course, again, exceptions to the rule. In Hennepin County, they're getting 2 to 3 showings a week. So as we always expect, things in Hennepin County move a little bit more swiftly. There's more people, the population is bigger, more properties to pick from. However, their average always tends to be higher. Notice week over week, let's start with Hennepin County. It's not like a clear, slow decline of like on a hill. But it has gone from the 3s to the 2s. So that's noticeable. Less people are out there shopping for houses. And then when we look at Hennepin County, we were almost at 3 a couple weeks ago, and now we're below 2. So we're definitely seeing people step out, take a break from shopping, or maybe they're just not interested and they're going to wait till the spring. The problem is for those folks, if it's interest rates or whatever is kind of holding them back. Of course, we don't know what interest rates will be this spring. And then predictably, when you have that competition, then the house prices are going up. So it's just something to be mindful that this is why investors come out. This is why we see below asking or people trying to get deals on houses, because they know there's just not as many people out there shopping, and they're hoping that your situation will make you, wheel and deal something for them. When we look at average days on market, we're looking at 31. Again, this is for Wright County, and 16 is the median. And so, that just means it would take a couple weeks to a month to sell a house right now in Wright County. That's pretty much on par with where it's been for a while. I mean, nobody can tell you exactly how long it's going to take to sell your house because it depends on the condition. It depends if it's priced right. Those two things are going to dictate how well is it marketed. I mean, if you've got a bunch of blurry junky pictures. Maybe nobody's coming to see it, and it's a fantastic house. That's a whole nother conversation. So the data I'm showing on my screen, I like to look at occasionally. It's from a company called Home Free TC. They are a transaction coordinator company, which is a fancy way of saying people that help real estate agents write offers, and they collect the data. And they did this from that September 22nd to October 6th time. So what exactly the sample size is, I'm not sure. The nice thing is it's a variety of companies, a variety of real estate agents. There's no way somebody like myself could give you this kind of data. Even the busiest of real estate agents just would not be able to pull this kind of data, because it's just, we don't have that many transactions to come up with this type of numbers. So this is why I share it with you. So there's some things I wanted to notice as you're reading through this is there's some inconsistencies here. Overall, we're in a buyer's market. I mean, if we're going to keep it really simple, we have shifted from that very, very severe seller's market into kind of that equal, and now pushing into the buyer's market. So we haven't been able to say that for a very long time. Inspections waived went up 31%. I'm sorry, it didn't go up. It was 31% of the time inspections were waived on accepted offers. I want to be clear about that. So there were other offers written. We're not including those. Those people didn't get a yes. These people are the ones who got the yes. So 31% of the time, people are still saying, I don't need an inspection on a property. We're seeing cash deals 25% of the time. These green arrows, they signify, the arrow up is from the last time I pulled the data. So it's not even comparing it to last week, or it's like the last time I shared this data with you, it is on an upswing. There are more cash deals, which makes sense. There's probably more investors out there shopping. So I get that point of view. And then 18% of the time people are writing it contingent on their house sale. Absolutely no surprise whatsoever there. Because if you don't want to be homeless is where I was going to go with that. If you don't want to be homeless, of course, you're going to write it contingent. That's very hard to negotiate in the spring when you're in competition for other people for the same property. So if you do need to do a contingent sale, this is the time to do it for sure. Home warranties are only being included 9% of the time. That's down from the last time I checked. Seller contribution towards buyer's closing costs, only 26% of the time. I am surprised that number isn't higher, and it's lower than the last time we checked. So that's kind of interesting. And here's the big thing I want to point out before I go to the next screen. Average purchase price to list price is 98.3 and the median is 99. That means people are generally getting less in the Twin Cities to what they're asking. So if you put a house on the market for whatever price, you can sort of start like psychologically preparing yourself that you might not get that number because again, people are looking for deals. And if they're the only ones writing the offer, they're not going into multiples. They may capitalize on that and ask you for one of these things, whether it's getting the inspection, whether it's making it contingent. These are the things that become more common when we're pushing into that buyer's market. So in conclusion, if you like this data, if you want it for your neighborhood, I'm happy to supply it like in a half mile, 1 mile radius from a property you own. It doesn't have to be a personal property. Maybe your parents are thinking about selling and you want to help them with that, or you have an investment property. This actually works for the entire country. It's not even a Minnesota thing. However, I was thinking of it more for you because you're probably catching me in a neighborhood group or my YouTube channel. So we can set it up that way. We can set it up for you if you're a home buyer to keep track of what's selling, though this isn't the ideal way to do it. And if you don't want to share an address with me, I do understand that Delano, Buffalo, St. Michael, Albertville are already set up for you. All you have to do is click the button to check out the data. That's in the link above or below, wherever you're finding this. If you made it to the end and you like what I'm sharing, I'd love for you to join me on my business Facebook page. Please look me up. Again, there's a link there for you to join me. Love to see you there. And YouTube, I try to post these every week as well. Thank you so much for making it to the end. Have a fantastic week.